You know, Disney's representation of Star Wars has had my outlook on the series in a constant state of flip-flop. On one hand, I'm rolling my eyes and shaking my head at the sequel trilogy for presenting us with the most underdeveloped cast of characters and tarnishing the rep of the OGs. On the other hand, my love for Star Wars is reinvigorated with entries like Rebels, Clone Wars The Final Season, The Bad Batch, and The Mandalorian. Then once again, Disney stops me in the nuts with the underwhelming epic that was The Book of Boba Fett. So with the Kenobi series announcement coming May 25th, can you really blame me for being worried about how they're going to treat Space Jesus? Especially after turning a living legend like Boba Fett into a local Tatooine tale to scare children. Can you really blame me? Subscribe to the channel and I'll get down to my worries for the upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars series, Kenobi. Disney does not have the greatest track record when it comes to the treatment of Star Wars property. It doesn't even seem possible for them to deliver good content when they are working with established material that is canon prior to the acquisition of Lucasfilm. The evidence is clear as day. Almost every pre-existing main character in the franchise prior to being under the Disney umbrella has been tweaked and or somehow tarnished in the eye of longtime fans. Have you seen what they did to Han, both in the solo film and the sequel trilogy? The same goes for Lando along with Leia, whom pretty much ended up being used as plot devices, let alone to push unwanted agendas. A goon's beard. Poor Chewbacca, man. It's as if they don't see him as a sentient being with thoughts and a personality of his own outside of Han.
Come on, Chewie!
Anyway, my point is, Obi-Wan Kenobi is Star Wars royalty. There's no denying that if you can divide die-hard fans over the treatment of the main protagonist of the franchise and run amok of one of its most legendary characters, how are we to trust that Kenobi will deliver? Disney Star Wars has seen success mainly when it comes to animation, and then solely in The Mandalorian when it comes to live action. Both coincidentally are areas where there have been extensive notion to create and develop new characters and stories to enrich the franchise, while slowly trying to adopt some EU material and drowning out prior mistakes made by Disney in order to keep their money. The fans happy. And after that major L called The Book of Boba Fett, how are fans of George Lucas's vision supposed to be excited when the same studio is in charge by beloved Espacio Jesus? As soon as we saw the Grand Inquisitor's live-action skittle-diddle head, I know most fans' PTSD from seeing Cad Bane's try-hard live-action portrayal got triggered. And to make matters worse, it looks like we're going right back to Tatooine again. Jesus Christ. I'm severely exhausted with this planet, even though it is the correct setting for post-prequel trilogy adventures to take place with Old Ben. So, you can thank The Mandalorian and
Like a panther. Yes?
for this desert exhaustion. Meanwhile, there's vast majority of planets in the Outer Rim that could use some exploring. Now, I'm not here to rag on Kenobi. I really hope that this series does give a justifiable plot into Espacio Jesus' exploits during his solitude. But as I said earlier, I'm hella worried. I'm worried because there are things I'm seeing in this trailer that ain't really adding up. The main worry I have, spoilers if you haven't watched any TV shows or read comics related to the franchise, is with the inclusion of the Inquisitors, whom correctly are active during the era of the Galactic Empire, but what are they doing in Tatooine? Which is a rhetorical question because they hunt the remnants of the Jedi Order. But if they are on Tatooine doing what they do best, then everything that transpired during Rebels in Episode 4 will be retconned. For the good amount of 20 plus years, Obi-Wan is successfully able to avoid the detection of the Empire while safeguarding Luke. The only person that I know of that came to understand where Old Ben resided was Darth Maul, who was able to gain such knowledge through accessing a Sith holocron along with Ezra. The same holocron that Vader and the other Inquisitors were not able to acquire. And let's say they were able to track Espacio Jesus by keeping track of Maul, right? By that time, Skittle Diddlehead here would have been dead, defeated by Kanan. And if they had information that Obi-Wan was hiding out in Tatooine, why didn't Vader personally go handle this himself since the Inquisitorius report to him? This would be a hunt he would relish in handling himself, seeking vengeance on Obi-Wan for ruining his life plans. So in a sense, I'm looking forward to the Kenobi series, and kinda not, because what I know and what I'm seeing are clashing. The residuals of feelings after season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett series isn't gonna help me in the excitement department either. Especially since Dave Filoni was involved, which kinda threw me off since he is mainly responsible for most of the post-George Lucas era success. Then there's Jody Harold, a writer I'm unfamiliar with, and who is helming the series after the original writer Hussein Amini left in January. This is going to be the first TV series he writes for. These aren't good signs. So again, I'm worried, and I think you should too. Do you have any faith in the Kenobi series coming this May? I'd like to hear from all of you how you feel going into this in the comments. As always, subscribe to the channel for more videos coming down the pipeline. You know the vibes. It's Kaizoku Sleven. Appreciate you.